Mental health check. With issues of systemic corruption piling on the news on the daily, how can Filipinos make sense of what is happening? And how do we cope when injustice becomes all too commonplace? Let's talk about that on Health Matters. And we are joined today by Associate Professor Ron Avila, Head of the Psychology Department at Trinity University, Asia. Prof. Ron, hello there. Good morning.
Magandang umaga sa lahat.
Yes.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Salamat.
Thank you very much.
Gumising ka ng maaga para to join us live today.
Sabi ko nga, di ako sanay na gumising ng ganito kaaga.
Kasi
really? 10
Akala ko
a.m.
yung
mga klase.
Akala ko yung mga prof
akala ko
yung
mga prof maaga
maaga
gumising, diba?
Yung mga ibang teachers.
Yung mga
So,
iba. So
high
siguro
school.
yung classes ni
Oo.
Prof. Medyo
High school.
Oh, yeah, high school.
afternoon.
Pag college kasi, di ba, mas free.
Oo, that's
yeah.
true. That's
mga,
true.
Mga 7 p.m. classes.
Yeah.
Mga ganun. Yeah, I understand.
So, Prof, let's start. According to a Pulse Asia survey, 97% of Filipinos believe that corruption is widespread. Meanwhile, 59% think that corruption has become normal. So, parang naging normalized na or new normal na yung pagiging corrupt ng gobyerno, no? And we see this every day on the news. We talk about this every single day. How does the daily news of systemic and widespread corruption in the government affect Filipinos, especially yung mental health natin, diba?
Okay. So, 10 years ago, nung nag-start yung Facebook and any other social media, na-normalize siya, na-mainstream siya, sobrang tumaas yung mental health concerns ng mga tao. Like, dahil sa dati joke lang siya na kaka-Facebook mo yan kaya nade-depressed. Diba, nung bata tayo or yung mga nakikinig ngayon lagi sinasabi. Pero, scientifically now, according sa mga researches, sobrang tumataas yung mental health concerns ng mga tao dahil sa mga nakikita nila online. Which is very concerning dahil majority of us, pagkagising pa lang sa umaga, nakapikit pa yung mata natin, automatically binubuksan na natin yung mga social media accounts natin.
That's true.
And bungad pa lang, as in, nakapikit pa yung isang mata, is nakikita mo na yung mga negative news, negative contents na makikita sa SOCMED. So, lalong-lalo na yung feeling of helplessness sa panahon nito natin ngayon dahil nasa era tayo ng political turmoil. Sobrang daming corruption na nangyayari sa Pilipinas. So, tumataas yung level ng depression.
Yeah.
Una. Anxiety ng mga tao because of uncertainties. And merong 3.4 million kasi delay tayo sa statistics nung 2023, 3.4 million yung documented Filipinos with psychological disorders. And now, ngayon 2025, wala pa tayong statistics. Dahil sa depression and anxiety, uncertainty, and lack of trust sa institutions natin, yung pinaka worst case scenario nito is yung social apathy natin or yung learned helplessness na nawawalan na tayo ng pake sa mga nangyayari sa bansa kasi wala naman talagang resulta. Walang efficacy yung nangyayari. So, sa amin, bilang mga psych, okay lang na nakakaramdam ka and valid na nakakaramdam ka ng emosyon. However, pag nasa point ka na ng indifference or social apathy, yun yung nakakatakot. Kasi people tend to lean with submission, with authoritarianism pag uncertain yung isang society. So, mas maraming nagkakaroon ng maraming corruption dahil nga uncertain yung society natin, maraming nangyayaring hindi maganda, kakapit na lang ako sa isang tao. Lalong lumalala yung corruption and nagiging cycle siya. So, sobrang laki ng epekto ng corruption sa mental health natin. Hindi lang siya physical, like yung mga bumabiyahe ngayon, nakatayo ngayon sa MRT North EDSA, yung mga magulang na natatraffic na hinatid yung mga anak nila sa school na nahihirapan at pumapasok sa trabaho pero sobrang mahal ng bilihin. Sobrang laki ng effect nito sa mental health nila and sobrang underrated yung konsepto ng economic depression na maraming mga taong nade-depress dahil sa kawalan ng pera, kawalan ng opportunity, kawalan ng trabaho, etc. Hindi masyado na pag-uusapan yun sa mainstream . So, I think dahil din dito, nadadagdagan lalo yung mga nakikita nating contents about corruption, lalong nadadagdagan yung mental health concerns sa mga tao.
Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, I can tell na galit ka sa North EDSA station.
Sobrang haba ng pila doon.
Sobrang haba ng pila doon. I mean, like, totoo naman.
Yeah.
Totoo naman. And like, I don't want to make light of it, but then, unfortunately, it's the truth. And a lot of Filipinos tend to use humor as a way
Yeah.
to siguro cope, diba? But then I want to go back yung survey na yun kasi 90% of Filipinos believe that there was collusion in the flood control scandal. And it goes back to yung point mo kanina that there is a learned helplessness, a
Yes.
apathy. Our surveys like this also practically reinforcing kasi grabe yung mga numero. Ito, 90% with the question, there is collusion among executive officials, legislators, and private contractors in the misuse of funds for flood control projects. At 90% yung
Yes.
Laki nun,
nag-agree.
Yeah.
Oo, so is that really validating lahat ng mga sinasabi mo na talagang it doesn't, it really is something that is almost embedded sa psyche ng mga Pilipino.
Yes. Kasi pag tinignan natin sa history, sobrang lalim na nito eh. Systemic na siya eh. Kaya yung mga 90% na yun, they view our government or institution bilang organized crime group na which is sad. Bilang nasa democratic country tayo. And yung learned helplessness na nararanasan natin, nagpatong-patong na yung paghihirap from the last few years. Dahil ang learned helplessness na discover siya noong 1967 ni Martin Seligman dahil sa eksperimento nila dahil sa isang aso na kinukuryente nila paunti-unti.
Okay.
Pero hindi siya namamatay. Paunti-unti ka lang kinukuryente. And after several sessions, hindi na pumalag yung aso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is natuto niya na wala na to, hindi na makakatakot. Makakatakas dito. This is my whole life. Ito na yun. Nagkaroon na siya ng apathy. So even nakukuryente siya for a very long time, nakaupo lang siya.
Yeah.
And na-realize nila, yung real life parallel example nito is yung mga nasa countries na merong corruption, sobrang lakas ng corruption. So doon na lalabas yung social apathy natin and yung learned helplessness. And kaya nakaugat din to sa pagkakaroon ng political idols ng mga Filipino. Napapansin niyo ba na sobrang taas ng idealization ng mga Filipino when it comes to politics. Kasi manifestation yun ng learned helplessness. Gusto nilang kumapit sa someone ng misaya. So nagkakaroon ng deification yung mga politicians natin dito. So lalo na-stress.
Yeah.
Hindi ko sila masisisi na nararamdaman nila yun. It's the system that hurt them and made them feel or nag-elicit ng negative reaction nila, feelings nila sa buhay nila.
So I want to go and talk about what people could do with regard to mga frustration nila, especially taking care of mental health nila. But before I do that, because you brought up a great point there na talagang yung apathy is quite there. You mentioned yung experiment na yon with the dog, which to be honest, I remembered and blocked from memory hearing about it from in school back in the day. But I want to talk about din yung concept of public trust, because we talk about all these surveys and how yung taong bayan, they are normally surveyed and asked, we trust how much do you trust this government official? How much do you believe in this government official? And normally, matataas yung mga rating or they're of a certain number na nakakagulat for some people, even considering yung history nila. What does that... I'm trying to put both together because may konting apathy, the assumption of corruption, but at the same time, may malaking public trust factor din.
Kasi ganito yun. Ang mga taong nasa estado ng uncertainty sa buhay nila or hindi nila alam kung ano yung mangyayari or they feel depressed or sad, hindi satisfied yung mga basic needs nila. They're in a state of limbo na kung saan gusto nilang maligtas. So technically, yung mga politicians na nagbibigay sa kanila ng bare minimum is kahit yung perception nila doon is sobrang laki kasi nangangailangan sila. Parang yung aso, binibigyan mo lang ng kakaunting pagkain. Tapos, kinakain niya kasi nagugutom siya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tapos, pag binigyan mo lang ng konting part ng isang chicken, tuwang-tuwa siya and master ka niya. So, lumalabas talaga sa statistics natin, dun sa mga public trust na surveys, na nandun na tayo sa point na yun. Na nagkakaroon na tayo ng idolization sa mga politiko and tumataas yung perspective tumataas yung favor natin sa mga politician at nagagamit rin yun para mag-continue yung corruption. So it's a cycle na kailangan natin pag-aralan through research.
Yung reaction ng mga tao sa nangyayari ngayon sa bansa natin. There are people who would choose to channel their frustrations through protests, like
Yes.
nung September 21 na rally. And then yung susunod nga, November 30, if I'm not
30 yata.
mistaken, may kasunod, di ba?
Opo.
Yung September 21 rally. But there are also others, as you've mentioned, nagkakaroon na ng mental apathy. They want to tune out. They want to protect their peace. How do you handle both? And is protecting your peace, kasi nga parang yung iba dumating na sa point na normal na to normal na yung corruption so ayoko na lang, 'di ba? I'm just gonna focus on my own life and my own problems, tune out na ako dito sa nangyayari. Is that okay?
Ang protest kasi is a way of checking yung mga nasa power. Kasi we are living in a democracy. So technically, in government natin, democracy, in a check power can result to a lot of abuse. So according sa isang experiment ni Philip Zimbardo, yung uncheck power, pag hindi mo chinecheck yung tao na may kapangyarihan, ang tendency niyan i-abuso talaga. Aabusuhin nila yun. So through protest at maraming ang ginagawang mobilization ng mga tao, nagkakaroon ng boses yung masa. Nagkakaroon tayo ng power. So on the other hand, change is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So habang binabago natin yung bansa, habang binibigyan natin ng boses yung masa, kailangan pa rin natin na alagaan yung sarili natin.
Right.
Emotionally. Kasi nakakapagod siya.
How would you suggest to do that? Considering that I'm sure na may mga estudyante ka na have been a bit more vocal, a bit more active. In fact, a lot of people have said that yung mga rallies na to are more youth-led compared to previous ones. So how would you advise yung mga younger generations, especially, to deal with yung mga issue na ganito? Because apathy is a problem, helplessness is a problem as well.
So, number one, acknowledging na napapagod ka. But resting doesn't mean na stopping. Ibig sabihin, hindi ibig sabihin nagpahinga ka, is tinitigil mo na yung advokasya mo. In-acknowledge mo lang na tao ka, napapagod at kasi hindi hindi magi-start yung change pag pagod ka. Kasi pag hindi ka nagpahinga at na-burnout ka, this will result to hindi ka na ulit-uulit. Parang pag-gym yan Pag napagod ka sa first session mo, ayaw mo na mag-gym bukas kasi nakakapagod. So nagiging negative reaction siya, nagiging negative reinforcement siya sa'yo. So technically, if you feel kung nag-start ka na magkaroon ng social mobilization, number one is acknowledge mo na napapagod ka and then rest. Pangalawa is find people na na tinutulungan ka na magkaroon ng social support. Na with the same values, parehas kayo ng advocacy, parehas kayo ng paniniwala. Not only you're talking about how to change yung bansa, yung advocacy natin, but also having fun or pagkakaroon ng leisure kasi tao rin din tayo. And pangatlo is pagkakaroon ng pag-i-strengthen ng emotional and spiritual elements ng buhay natin. So if you are a very religious person, if you're a spiritual person, pray. Sleep. 'Di ba? Physical, emotional, and if hindi ka naman ganun ka-religious, practice meditation para mas maging clear yung mind mo, para mas capable ka to discern kung ano na ba yung ginagawa mo sa buhay. So may number one, acknowledgement. Number two, social support. Number three, strengthening yung emotional and spiritual part ng pagkatao natin.
Okay.
Paano yung Facebook, Ann? Kasi some people, or not just Facebook, but any social media. Kasi na-mention nga ni Prof that we go and check Facebook or whatever social media as soon as we wake up. In fact, one eye open nga and then negative news. Kailangan ba ng break from the news?
Yeah. Yes, you should have a social media break. And ini-encourage ko yung mga, lalo na sa mga parents, sa mga estudyante ko, and also to my clients na please don't allow your child na magkaroon ng social media at a very young age kasi it really have an effect sa mental health ng isang tao. Lalong-lalo na ngayon na punong-puno ng negative news and negative contents yung internet. I think we should normalize having a social media break once in a while. And hindi ko sinasabi na kailangan kang pumili ng content kasi magkakaroon ka naman ng echo chamber dito, but rather rest sa paggamit ng social media.
Active rest talaga.
Active rest.
Pero do you also feel na parang double-edged sword to Kasi meron din siyang benefit being on social media because finally, a lot of people are aware of
Yes.
what is really going on in the government, diba? Kasi nasa news, nasa yung mga investigations, makikita mo nakapost yung mga documents, 'di ba? Yung mga statements, papers and everything. So they are aware of what is going on. And at the same time, pagka sobrang dami naman, na-overwhelm ka with all this information, 'di ba? So do you feel na parang ano to, yun nga, double-edged sword siya?
Yes, kasi truth can really be hurtful sometimes.
Yeah.
Masakit
But it's
siya.
something that we need to know.
Yeah, kailangan
Diba?
malaman yun at
Yeah.
masakit yun. It can really affect you psychologically. And yung nalaman mo na yung katotohanan, doon na nag-i-start yung change. And yung,
true.
kung hindi mo nalaman yun, you still stay put, you choose things that you just want to believe, you just choose things na comforting sa'yo. So I rather have hurtful truth than comforting lies. And ang part ng change is malalaman mo dapat ang katotohanan para magkaroon ng pagbabago.
Yeah. But at the same time, the balance has to be there.
Yeah.
Kasi
Kailangan
you,
pa rin i-take care of
you need a
yourself.
break also.
Yes.
Kasi you can know all the truth. Pero kung you know, you
get
flood,
overwhelmed.
if you
Yes.
flood
Yeah.
yourself with a negative
That's
news.
true.
Now, Prof, on the lighter note here, I need your personal advice here to
Personal
help our
advice.
to help not for me in particular, to help our colleagues kasi may mga kilala ko mga nagtatrabaho sa media na araw-araw nagtatrabaho Monday to Sunday.
Wow.
As in like nagde-news siya every day. and I can only imagine
Tindi,
what it would take in terms of yung bakit natamaan ka ba? Sorry ano. Na every day na nagde-news. And for some people yung reality nila is to have this every single day.
Yes.
Na yung mga nakakagalit na news, na items, na stories. How would you advise anyone who has to go through that reality to do it?
So, to add dyan, maliban sa nakakapagod yung pagbabasa ng mga balitang and katulad sa mga journalists and sa press, yun pa yung freedom of press, yung katotohanan, which is very nakakadagdag din sa stress ng mga journalists at yung mga bagay na, alam mo yun, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin.
Yeah.
And alam naman natin, Philippines is one of the highest rate of slaying of journalists. Sobrang sad yun para sa lahat. So, number one is, para sa mga taong nagtatrabaho at nagkakaroon ng advocacy para sa katotohanan, is, kailangan natin dandaan ba't ba tayo nagsimula. Yung acknowledgement na ito yung meaning na kung bakit ka nabubuhay, kung bakit ka nag-i-exist. And doon naman sa alternative, kung alam mo naman na sa sarili mo, this is my passion, this is my life, this is meaning, ito yung meaning ng buhay ko. Pangalawa is find some people na pwede sa'yo ang laki ng tulong ng social support eh.
Yeah.
Like habang nagchichismisan lang kayo sa Starbucks, nagkakatarsis ka sa mga bagay na nararamdaman mo. So, nare-release yung negative emotions mo. And may kino-consider din akong sa CBT, sa Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, may tinatawag silang scheduled breakdown, which is a very good concept.
Scheduled breakdown.
Yes.
Scheduled breakdown.
Wait
Scheduled
lang.
pala
Okay,
yun?
wait lang.
Yes.
I'm so interested in this.
Okay.
Okay.
So yan. Scheduled breakdown, it's a way of controlling your emotion in a very specific time of the day. Kasi technically, for example, ngayon, nagsushoot kayo, tapos gusto mag-breakdown, so umiiyak ka. Kung saan-saan. So, hindi siya nagiging productive sa buhay mo. So, through CVT, natututunan mo na yung client how to handle their emotions properly and not suppressing yung emotions na yun, but rather giving that specific time of the day na umiyak, i-acknowledge yung nararamdaman, maging present, and acknowledging your emotion can really help you to be more active and productive sa susunod na aral kasi wala ka nang dinadala eh. Kasi ang negative emotion, para siyang mabigat na bag na laging may bato na every time na sinusuppress mo siya, lalo siyang nadadagdagan. And supposedly, ang schedule breakdown, tinatanggal mo yung bato every now and then para wala kang dala-dala. So for example, 2 a.m., play mo yung favorite music mo. For example, Bruno Mars or any sad music.
When I Was Your Man.
When I Was Your Man or kung ano mga kanta. Tapos, with candles, with your tissue paper, then start ka na mag-emote at umiyak. And from
Okay.
that, nakakatulong sa well-being natin.
So, scheduled
now
talaga. As in,
Scheduled
scheduled
talaga.
iyak.
Yeah, scheduled na iyak.
Wow. Okay.
Importante yun eh. You let out yung negative emotions,
Yes.
'di ba? Release it. Hindi pwedeng you keep it all inside. And now that we're talking about that, no, that some ano yan parang form of healing, 'di ba? Corruption kasi now that we're facing all these corruption cases here in the country, parang ano yan parang sugat sa social psyche natin, 'di ba? So what would psychological rehabilitation or healing look like at a societal level? So, and ano yung roles na pwedeng i-play ng schools, media, civil society groups, religious groups para to rebuild hope? Parang sense of healing kumbaga. How do they help the people?
You cannot have a true peace kung hindi natin or hindi tayo nagtitiwala sa institution na nagbibigay ng laws, policy. And technically, a major factor sa buhay natin. Ang hirap mabuhay ng maraming bagay na hindi mo kayang gawin. Like for example, nagtatrabaho at hindi mo bili yung mga bagay na gusto mo or yung even i-suffice yung mga pangangailangan mo. Or yung mga magsasaka natin na kinukuha yung lupa nila and they have a little money para support yung family nila at nagkakaroon ng cycle of poverty. I cannot really say na magkakaroon ng true peace hanggat hindi nagkakaroon ng transparency, hindi nagkakaroon ng pananagot sa mga nagnakaw, or ibalik yung tiwala ng government sa mga tao at bigyan ng power ulit ang mga tao when it comes to changing the Philippines in general. So, in a healthy manner, kung mangyayari man yun sa school, in a healthy, peaceful way, number one, is sa mga edukasyon, we should really encourage students to read more about history, to study society, aralin ang lipunan, create groups na kung saan sinusupport yung mga advokasya natin. And pangalawa, sa mga tao, sa mga kabataan ngayon, is punong-puno kasi sila ng galit Punong-puno sila ng galit. And anger is a very powerful motivating factor para mag-start ng change. Kasi hindi ko pwedeng i-invalidate yung nararamdaman nila. Hindi ko pwedeng sabihin huwag kayong magalit, etc.
Okay, Prof, we have to wrap things up, unfortunately, but we love the advice and the tips that you gave. Of
Yes.
course, we're
Thank
also
you very
praying for
much.
accountability and transparency. But we always end our segments with a nice last question para positive naman yung ending natin. At
Yes.
yung version mo, may special, may special background music. Kakataon ng When I Was Your Man sa background. Abang tinatanong ni Ann.
So, Prof, our show is called... Nadidistract ako.
Gawin mo na!
Our show is called Beautiful Day. What makes your day beautiful?
Number one, yung girlfriend ko and yung aso ko.
Aww.
Every time na nakikita ko sila, and nakakasama ko sila na araw-araw, and pagkagising ko pa lang nandyan na sila, it really makes my day beautiful.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Associate Professor Ron Avila, Head of Psychology Department at Trinity